why did you start working with me, dude? Like what was like the initial thing that you were looking for? Was it more like the programming, the accountability? Like what was the main thing that drove you?
The biggest thing for me at that time, I mean, I've been following you for some years then at that point and kind of just shooting DMs back at each other about training. So the consistency and the discipline, I already had that. It was really I hit a block wall in my training, right? I was I got up to like a 495 deadlift and I didn't know what I was doing in the gym anymore. I kind of came to reality like, hey, I need some help from guys that are, have done more than that or have trained other guys that can. And so that was the biggest motivating factor is like, let me sign up with somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, because I got so far just following programs and, just going apeshit wild in the gym. But, it was just definitely hitting a block wall and needing some real coaching, real guidance.
Yeah, and that's usually where I take guys on, right? Is like, when you're a beginner, anything works, you get to that intermediate stage, and then that's when we have to like get more specific about what we're doing and, have somebody with that bird's eye view on your program and, someone who's able to navigate around all those roadblocks because eventually like the basic generic stuff just doesn't work anymore. And so if you want to take things to the next level, you have to apply more advanced methods and like that's what I do professionally. So you outsource your progress. And it's the same thing with everything, man. Like I always tell people, like if I want my truck fixed and it's something that's not as simple as like changing my headlight, I take it to a mechanic, right? Because they're going to get it done right. And so, yeah, I can appreciate that for sure, dude. Having somebody else on the other end, who knows like how to get around the roadblocks that you have, the plateaus.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Right on. What would you say like your biggest struggles were? Was it just like knowing what to do and like knowing how to make progress?
For me, it was like implementing actual training tools to like progress in my actual lifts. Like I was really obsessed with like being able to deadlift over 500 pounds, right? That was like I love deadlifting. I mean, it's my name on Instagram. So I didn't know about deficit deadlifts, rack pulls, pause deadlifts. I didn't know that, training weeks at a time at 70% of your max, could build up to, breaking plateaus. I was just constantly like PRing or trying to and failing. Um, but yeah, that would be the biggest thing is like learning all these different, training tools and training methods to build up that deadlift.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, yeah, at some point, just like going hard isn't the solution anymore. And obviously, like training hard is important, but I think a lot of people just think like, the harder I work or the more I work, the more progress I'm going to make. But there's so many other ways that are more efficient. Um, and as you get more advanced, as you get stronger, you can't just hammer heavy, heavy, heavy all the time. You end up just kind of working yourself into a hole. And a lot of times guys even end up, getting hurt or regressing that way. And then so you do have to use smarter methods. And sometimes it's speed work or like the partials, like the rack pulls, or working on
Mm.
like where your weak points are, which is what we do with you, right? Where it's like, hey, off the floor. Okay. So then we do the deficits. Like we basically just analyze what the problem is and then apply the right tool to fix it. So
Yeah,
what
for
what, what
sure.
were like your top three goals? Obviously, you wanted to get that deadlift up. Like what else?
So that was number one. Number two was definitely to cut down body fat. And then, just in general, just have a better physique. So like if you go look at like my day one photo, I mean, I had the physique of just like I wouldn't even say like a strong fat guy. Like you really couldn't tell that I could deadlift almost 500 pounds at that time. But now a year into training, like I got that like cool like V taper in your back, where it starts to go down into your waist, which, you know, I didn't really I guess that wasn't I kind of underestimated what I could do in 12 months, and that's kind of what we talked about when we first jumped on a phone call, where you're like, a lot of people overestimate what they can do. I forget how you said it.
Well, I say they
Um,
underestimate, right? Like they have these limiting beliefs and they undershoot their goals because they don't understand that, hey, dude, like once we really dial stuff in, the rate of progress you can make is crazy. It's tough to get that point across to people because it sounds like a sales pitch, but it's true, man.
yeah, yeah, no, and even on that phone, I still remember it was a year ago. Like I kind of was like, that's another like sales pitch, but I still believed in like what you were doing, just because I mean I had seen all the progress videos, and a lot of your other clients were pulling some insane numbers that I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. But yeah, I think like within like the first like 3 months of just getting the right meal plan, getting the right supplements, that really helped me like understand how to really properly diet. Like I was just kind of doing like the whole macro thing. I didn't really understand like the importance of carbs. I was doing a lot of like fasted lifting, mostly because I trained very early in the gym out of necessity, not because I think it's like more there's more merit out of it. Um, but like the necessity of having carbs before, like all that, I didn't know any of that. So, when I started working with you, that was huge.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand that you can absolutely get leaner and lose body fat while getting stronger. And
Yes.
I get asked all the time, people are like, how much strength should I expect to lose, while I'm trying to lose this weight? And it's like, dude, none. Like we should be just making maybe a little bit slower progress if we're really getting aggressive with the fat loss. But if we were able to dial the diet in like we did with you, we can absolutely get fat loss along with strength gain if we just kind of thread that needle and do things the right way versus like you said, just like fasting and like super, restricting calories and stuff like that. Stuff doesn't work long term. So
Yeah.
glad we were able to do both of those things and get you that Dorito shape back, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're still working, we're still going, it's definitely it's not over, but yeah, the 12-month transformation was crazy.
Right on, dude. What was your biggest like fear or hesitation before like pulling the trigger to actually, get on a call, sign up, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think like months, like we had been following each other for a while over just funny meme stuff. And then like I really started seeing like the training videos you were putting out and a lot of the client check-in stuff. And the biggest thing is like I think I even joked or I misunderstood what one-on-one coaching was with you. Like I thought like, well, how am I going to go to the gym with you every day, dude? Like I don't know if you live in my same city.
Yeah.
I didn't really know. I didn't know what I was getting into at all. You're like, no, dude, I'm going to program you every week. I'm going to review all your videos. I'm going to update your meal plan, all that stuff. And then I was like, you started giving me this premium product that I was like, okay, this is going to cost like, whatever. That was my biggest hesitation. And I did the number one thing that like I'm sure you deal with every day. It's like, hey, let me get back to you. I gotta talk to my wife. But I literally like had to like go talk to my wife in the other room to let her know that I was gonna do it, not like to get her permission, right? So
Hmm.
like I texted you, 10 minutes after our meeting, like, hey, we're good to go. Let's sign up. So I'd say the number one thing that held me back was really because I wanted the progress and I knew you were producing the results with your clients. It was just like knowing how much it would cost. But then after hearing out what the product is, the service that you provide, I was like, okay, it's a premium product, So
And that's why I tell guys, look, it's like this isn't McDonald's, dude. Like this isn't a generic program like
yeah,
McDonald's would be, right? And it's also
yeah,
not priced like McDonald's. Like I'll be frank with you though, like there are a lot of coaches out there because I've been in this space for a long time who charge twice as much as I do and do half as much as I do. And it's tough because I'm competing with those guys online and it's really hard for me to show people how in depth and personalized and one-on-one this whole system is until I can get somebody on a call and show them. And so that's something that I have to work around, on social media is getting people to realize like, hey, your perception of what coaching is probably it's nothing compared to like what we actually do. I think a lot of people's idea of what, personal training or coaching is like, oh, I'll send you like an 8-week program and you go try it out or something. Whereas this is like so in depth, so one-on-one, so optimized. And I'm with you every step of the way. And it's really
that
tough because a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing that I've noticed is that like when you actually did the check-in reviews, like seeing my back squat, right? That's like my second favorite lift, right? Um, you noticed some things in my knees that I didn't notice, and I was like, I remember being frustrated the first couple of weeks, like, what are you talking about? So you started programming like hip adductors and like these eccentric holds on certain lifts that I was like, what are we doing this for? And then all of a sudden, like 2 months later, I'm like back squatting 405 for three with like my knees and like not popping out like I'm Bambi or anything like that. Like I was like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Like so like I had no idea like how intricate you were gonna look into all of our videos.
Yeah, isn't it crazy how just like correcting small stuff like that can yield such a crazy
Oh
gain?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, just simple little tweaks, little additions to your programming that just seems like, mundane or ridiculous even in some cases. Like, yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah, but it's all part of that bigger picture. And when you put all those little details together, and that's why it has to be one-on-one, right? Because I have to be able to see specifically what your deficits are, what's holding you back. And then we crush those things and we break through to that next level. And if we do that every week, every month, dude, the position that you end up in a year later is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
What's something that you would say, I guess, if like somebody was on the fence about booking a call with me, signing up with me, like what would be something you would tell someone that was feeling a little bit hesitant?
Well, if you're like me and like you were somebody that is like you've already been in the gym for a few years, you're kind of like you've exited the newbie stage of being in the gym and you're entering or maybe you're in the middle of the intermediate stage. Your biggest worry is for sure going to be like how much is it going to cost? And like I would say like you got to really examine like what's worth it to you, right? Like so for me, like I really wanted to get stronger, not just for personal like um um personal glory, but like I'm a family man. I have a wife, I have kids. Like being stronger, having a stronger mentality, having a stronger physical body, like has helped me even with my own family. Like I'm able to literally work more and work harder to provide for them. So like somebody that's like similar to me and you're on the fence, I would say at least get on a call and like, see what Randy can do for you because like I chose the premium top end product that he has, the top end training that he has. I mean, I'm sure there's other avenues they can go with you, but at least get on a call and see what he's got to say.
Yeah, I think you touched on a good point about like, getting stronger and getting more fit isn't just about like, oh, this is cool, I'm stronger, right? Like you have
Yeah,
now gone on to start your own. I mean, you already had a side business, but now
right.
that's going even better. You got a huge promotion at work. You started doing coaching yourself, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I wanted to get into that. I don't know if you, but yeah, that like the mindset shift thing. That was another thing I didn't touch on earlier on one of those the last questions you had is that having like a mindset shift is like look at the people that are doing the thing that you want to do, right? Like if a guy can deadlift 500 pounds, well, what did he do to get there? Or if he's deadlifting 655, what did he do to get there? Well, start doing what that guy's doing and like, do everything that he does and work your way backwards from there. And eventually, like you
Yeah.
say, reality will catch up. I got a huge promotion at work, like a huge promotion. I mean, like I have the title of somebody that should have a degree for what I have. And like people were blown away that I got this job. And I jokingly told Randy, like, hey, dude, I got this job just because like I'm jacked. And I do think like there might be some arrogance in there, but like it's mostly just confidence. Like I was able, this was the best interview I ever gave. I went into this interview completely unprepared, had no idea what they were going to ask me. And I walked out like, I definitely got that job. Like there's no way they're not going to hire me. And then I started my own online coaching business. So I work with guys in like the Catholic world, Catholic men, a lot of Catholic priests. So I'm doing training with them off of all the knowledge that I've gained by myself and the knowledge that I have with Randy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's totally true. Like people don't realize there was an actual like monetary ROI, right? On
Yes.
getting jacked and getting strong. And part of it is because as a man, like if you look like a man who takes himself seriously, you look competent, then other people kind of just assume you're competent. And it's like this subconscious thing you don't necessarily
Yes.
say, right? And there's also the confidence of like, okay, if I can see myself getting stronger every week, if I can break through these, limitations that I never thought I would achieve before, man, what else can I do? And
Right.
so by virtue of doing things in this regimented way and seeing this success, dude, it does bleed over into everything else that you do. And I think that people need to understand that. And that's why when I get on a call with someone, when they're like, oh yeah, my goal is to like whatever, bench 315 or something. I'm like, no, but like what's your real goal, right? Like why do you want to bench 315?
Right.
Okay, because I think everybody knows that there's something deeper there because this is about more than just, yeah, how much weight you can lift, right? It's about how's this actually going to improve your life. And when you can really draw that connection, dude, it becomes priceless.
Yeah. No, no, like, there's even at my previous job, what I was doing before, like I was working with you and like, I started getting like treated differently. That was the biggest thing that I noticed is like, um, I noticed that some of my peers, some of the people that worked for me, or the contractors I was working around, they started literally treating me differently, just because I was jacked, right? They kind of like they noticed, like you said, subconsciously that I took myself seriously, so they took me seriously, calling me sir. I'm like, dude, I'm 30 years old. What are you calling me sir for? And so that was a huge thing, man.
Right on, dude. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Right on. Thanks, Randy.
All right, man. Talk to you later.